So we're going to talk about the Kiely Rodni case again. What facts do we actually know in this case? As well as we're going to promote finding other missing kids, because all missing kids or all kids that have been murdered, solving all these cases, there's not one more important than the others. Just because you guys have to chase views don't mean you can't also try to promote finding other kids. So on the screen up here, we'll be posting missing kids here in Cincinnati. A lot of them are recently missing, as recent as July. So please take note of their name, the picture, and let's see if we can't see what happened to these kids, because they're just as important as any other missing kid. Not one kid is more important than the other. Now, this Kiely Rodni case is very sad. It is sad the police seem to have slipped up in their investigation. They left behind evidence that has been found by YouTubers, such as the laptop. I'm glad people have went out and tried to find this evidence. That all said, even Adventures with a Purpose said the way they pulled the car out was not the way they would have handled it, and it seems that evidence was lost because of the way they pulled the car out. I hope the police start handling this as a murder investigation and do a more professional job, because the way it seems as of now that they have definitely botched this investigation. Sammy lawyering up. You know, I'm not going to say that makes her seem guilty, but it does seem suspicious. Why is the people who are 18 who admit to drinking alcohol with Kiely, I'm sorry, why is it that they're not charged for contributing to a minor? Where I'm from, if anybody adult age that allows someone else to drink underage, they're definitely going to be charged. If this is just suspect in itself that the police have not took action on that, I hope they decide to, because that is the right action to take. Sammy has spoke out and admitted to drinking with Kiely that night, so charge her for contributing to a minor. If these police are actually doing their job, there would be charges coming for Sammy. Now, that all said, we need to start promoting these other missing kid cases. If you're a YouTuber who's out really trying to solve a case, look, a simple Google search. I found these. This is just the top 3 and the most recent in my area. I'm going to keep putting the pictures up here and scrolling them so you guys can get their names, a good look at their face. And if you're in the Ohio area, you need to keep an eye out for these kids. I'm going to try to dig into their cases. These kids I think 1 or 2 might be runaways. But if you go back and look, at the end of this video, I'll actually put a clip of JD from Prison Life for All. He was a runaway child who got swept up into a sex trafficking ring. A lot of these runaway kids end up victims to sex trafficking rings. So they're just as important to find as any other missing kid. It baffles me that people just want to chase the views. You know what? If you're going to use the Kiely Rodni case for views, then please keep promoting other missing kids, because if we're only involved in the one missing kid case, such as Kiely Rodni ain't missing. They found her. They need to find her murderer, because this is obviously foul play. If you think this is an accident, at best, maybe it was an accident. She slipped up and did something she shouldn't have, maybe OD'd. But this is an obvious cover-up. At the bare minimum, this is cover-up, and there is foul play involved, because they covered up instead of reporting her overdose to the police. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying this is at least a cover-up at bare minimum. She was in the back of the car. There's no way for that to happen, and things to have happened where the way she was found, other than foul play where she was put in the back of the car was pushed into the leg or whatever. I believe there was foul play all the way around. We'll find out here soon. Even if the toxicology report comes back and this was an accident, there was still foul play involved, because the way they disposed of the body is obvious, and that's just my opinion. But please use this case to promote other missing kids. There's none more important than the other. I can't say that enough. If you're not a tragedy pimp, you're going to start promoting missing kid cases that nobody knows about. And for those of you who don't, I'm coming after you, tragedy pimps. For you fake PIs, I'm coming after you too. Jim Terry, you're not going to try to make money off tragedy. It's done. This is done on YouTube. If you have a monetized channel and you want to get views by talking about these cases, that's one thing. But you're not going to be out there trying to get donations, cash apps, and stuff like I've seen Benny Keys do or Jim Terry, where they try to actually get the family to pay them to find their missing kid, and then Jim Terry runs off with the money. Go look in the comments of my last video about him. I've actually got one of his victims where he took the money and ran off, is what they said in the comments. I'm trying to get them to come on the channel because we are coming after all the tragedy pimps. I'm reaching out to a friend of mine on YouTube, and I think he's going to join me in this. This era of true crime channels just trying to get cash apps and profit on and smear the cases to where nobody knows really what's going on. That era is over. We're going to talk about the facts of the cases, stick to the facts, and go over them and try to figure it out. And we're going to promote other missing kid cases. Um, like I said, we're going to talk about the Kiely Rodni case, but all we know as of now is a car was found turned over. Stick to the facts that you know. The car was found turned over, her in the back of the car. Logically, there's something wrong with that, and there's some type of foul play. If you can't see that, that's on you. But we're going to keep going over the facts. We're going to try to see who actually did this to Kiely because the family does need answers. And no, anyone, if you're ever involved in seeing someone overdose, report it to emergency people. Don't try to cover it up because you get scared of the law or you're scared of getting in trouble. Because I'm telling you, first of all, your odds are a lot better if you call 911 than if you try to cover something up. That's just the fact of the matter. That's coming from somebody who lived in that life. I've seen people overdose. I've had to take people to the emergency room, and you're a lot better to do that than to not report that because I've lost friends because people didn't want to call 911 because they were scared of getting in trouble. And you're a lot better off to report it to the law, maybe take a charge for whatever drugs you might be in possession of. You're a lot better to do that than to end up in a manslaughter case. So I hope people really take my lead and follow along with trying to promote other missing kids because as of right now, it don't seem like people really care because you got hundreds of missing kids in your local cities. If you're trying to solve a crime case, then you would be putting their faces out there just the same, unless you think one kid's more important than the other. But we are going to try to keep following this case. We're going to talk about the Summer Wells case and go over the facts in that case because there's not many facts in these two cases. That's the one similar thing we got going on is for somehow there's disappearing phones in these two cases. Um, there's just not a lot of facts on what happened to Kiely. There's not a lot of facts on what happened to Summer Wells. And, when people just get on YouTube, speculate, and try to muddy the water, and it's all for their own personal gain, you're just muddying the case. You're just dragging the case through the mud. You're not really trying to help solve anything. So people will stick to the facts. I believe Kiely Rodni is a real person. Gabby Petito is a real person. I was just saying the other day in my other video that we cannot blindly trust the news. So people, please do your own investigation. If you're invested in any case, don't blindly just go along with the narrative you're told. But these people have families, they have grieving families, and they deserve to be treated respectfully. So if you're going to talk about this case, please talk about it respectfully. As well, we're going to get into these missing girls I keep showing pictures of up here. We're going to try to find out what happened to them. Did they run away? We're going to try to get you some facts on their cases. So look forward to that to come. Guys, let me know in the comments what you want to know. What other cases you want to follow. We're going to follow the Pike County Massacre as well because that is a local case. But yeah, we're going to dive into this true crime stuff and we're going to try to treat it respectfully and we're going to try to out the tragedy pimps while we're doing it. Y'all remember, keep grinding, keep shining, go to work and pay your bills, y'all.
Yeah, what's cracking, everybody? Big JD. I'm the host of the YouTube vlog channel called Prison Break Raw. My life has been pretty much all about the crime for a very long time up to the point of my change. I was actually kind of like lured into the whole street life as early as about maybe 9 years old, and really started getting heavy into it by the time I was 11. And I had a lot of things, like a lot of issues going on. I was a runaway several times, and faced some really horrible consequences for my actions in running away. The last time I ran away when I was 14, and I'll lead up to that. I had basically come across a situation where I was lured into a place because I was desperate, I was hungry, I was out in the cold, and I got lured into a place by some people, and quickly learned that I wasn't going to be allowed to leave. And as time went on, it was me and another boy that were in there, and we were drugged, we were psychologically, physically, and mentally and sexually tortured and abused, to the point to where we were forced to participate in several different acts of child pornography for them. And the one kid, there was a situation in it. I'll just make a long story short. The